Welcome to Sikbaggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve, and today we're going to be showing you how to install the Trask Assault Air Cleaner on the 23 CVO or 24. Back here on the lift we have a 24, and I'm going to be installing that. We're going to be taking off the stock air cleaner and putting on the Assault Air Cleaner. So if you're already starting to get an idea in your head of what you want to do to your 23 or 24 Harley Davidson Touring model, and you were just waiting on a breather to come out that was a little bit different than what the two Harley Davidson offered, which was, I think, what they call that, like a wedge and then like a snorkel. If you're looking for something that's a little cooler than that, make sure to check out the Trask Assault Air Cleaner. It was definitely well worth the wait. I know they did a big batch of them and they sold out immediately, and then I got on the waiting list, I think, for the second batch, but it was just a matter of a couple of weeks and we had it in here. So this air cleaner is an open air cleaner. It's going to give you a lot more surface area for more air to come in. Now, I'm not going to get way off into tuning and all that good stuff. There's a couple of videos that you can check out by DK Customs that they've done about tuning on the 23s and 24s, and it's looking like they don't necessarily need a tune when you do an air cleaner and open exhaust on this, but we're still going to be putting a tune on this bike in the future. But for right now, just changing the air cleaner is not going to do a whole lot to your bike. Now, we have changed the exhaust on this already. We got the tab 4.5-inch zombies on here, and with an open air cleaner, I would highly suggest go ahead and getting a tune. I think pretty much at the time of shooting this video, the Screaming Eagle tuner is really about the only one that's out there. I may be wrong. I've been gone for about a week, and you know, a lot of stuff can change in a week. You want to make sure that your VIN number doesn't get flagged by putting an aftermarket tuner on it. There's a lot of things that go into that, and we're just not going to get into it in this video. Today we're just going to concentrate on getting this air cleaner installed. Like I said, looks a hell of a lot better than the two that Harley Davidson are offering. We have it on the 2015 Softail over there. Absolutely love it on that bike, so it's no question at all which air cleaner I was going with. It was just a matter of waiting, and new parts are coming out for the 23 and the 24 as we speak. So if you're wanting something, just make sure to hang in there and wait for it, and you'll be able to get it. So without further ado, let's get the camera over here and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is take our 3/16 Allen and remove this center bolt right here. Go ahead and pull our filter up and out. And inside here, we've got a bolt here, and then we have 3 bolts around the throttle body. One here, and then one externally out here. 9/16 and an extension. We're going to go in here and get these 2 loose. Now, these generally have a lot of gunk on these bolts right here, so you will see some like white powdery stuff coming out. It's kind of a thread locker that Harley uses, so they are tight. Pull those out. Switch over to a Torx 27. We're going to pull that top one. 2 in here. And be careful because you have a hose up here. Now this just slips on over. Try to twist and pull that off. So from here we want to get our breather out. We want to prepare it for install. It does come assembled, as you can see. We're going to take this stuff out and get underneath this last piece of foam here. And we've got some more parts. We want to get everything out. So like I said, this does come pre-assembled, but we do have to take it apart to get it ready to put onto the bike. So we're going to take a 9/64, and we're just going to remove these 3 screws that you see on these bars. Go ahead and lift up the plate and the filter. And set it off to the side. We're going to take these off. We've got our velocity stack right here. We have to remove it to get to these 3 holes. So you want to go ahead and take the velocity stack off, and also make special note that if you plan on powder coating some of this stuff, the magnets in this will fail at anything over 200 degrees. Powder coating requires actually baking the powder coat on, so anything over 200 degrees will make these magnets fail, so keep that in mind. So we did have the backing plate, and then we had our little hardware kit here, and our hardware kit's got a couple of bolts here and then 2 O-rings which we'll be using. It also has the breather port for the breather tube that goes on top of the backing plate here. So basically this just goes in the top, and then your air hose goes in the back here. So we're going to screw this in. So this is going to be the front, and this is going to be the back, and this right here is your port for that air line that we pulled off a while ago. So we've got the little 90 degree that goes on here, and it is powder coated on the threads. Now that got really tight as I was hand turning it, so I'm going to take a 1/2 inch wrench, and put on there and finish turning it around to the back side. It's pretty tight right there, and plus we don't want to take the chance of marring up this powder coat on this. So once you get that installed, you can go ahead and put this on. That one's going to be a 7/16. Now on the back side of this, we're going to turn it over and put one of the O-rings in here. Now these can fall out if you're flipping it around and moving it around a lot, so it just kind of sets in there. So you want to press it in, but when you get ready to mount this to the bike, make sure that thing is pressed into where it needs to be and it's not sticking out. You're going to get an air leak, and that's going to cause problems. Also on the back side of this, you're going to have another one of those grooves and a second O-ring. So anywhere that there's metal on metal contact, you need to have that rubber O-ring in there. Be careful pressing it in too, because you can stretch that and it'll bubble. So just press it in gently till you get it all the way in. And then, like I said, when you get ready to install it, make sure that those are in there perfect. Now remember when I was taking the OEM air cleaner off, you've seen all that white powdery stuff. It's like Harley Davidson's version of their thread locker. It's also on here, it's more of a yellow, and you can see that yellow crap coming out of there and the white crap that's in there. Anytime that the first time that you're changing an air cleaner on a bike from an OEM air cleaner that's never been changed, you want to chase out these holes. I've had these gum up with the leftover stuff that's in there, and you can cross thread these super easy. So it's better to get a thread chasing kit. Just real quick, this is the thread chasing kit that I have. This is from Amazon. It's very cheap. If you own a Harley Davidson and you're working on your bike, you need to get one of those. I'll put a link down in the description down below. And it also includes the nuts so you can actually chase bolts as well. We have our 3/8 for the cylinder head holes here, right? And we have our 1/4 inch for the throttle body holes here. So you can do this by hand. If it's super gummy, put a wrench or a ratchet on that, but you want to run it in and run it out and pull all of that crap out of there. And just so we're clear, a thread chasing kit and a tap and die set is completely different. You want to make sure this whole entire surface area right here is clear. So if you've got leftover gasket, maybe you're doing this on an older model bike, this one's pretty much brand new, so there's nothing left on there, but you want to make sure this surface area is clear and this surface area right here is clean as well. Type 262, it doesn't matter what brand you use, just use a high strength Loctite. We're going to take the 2 cylinder head bolts, put a little bit of that red Loctite on there. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit like that. We're going to bring in our backing plate, double check that the O-ring is pushed all the way down into place. We're going to flip it around. We got our air nozzle that goes back. Go ahead and pull your air hose up and slide it back on. Twist it around and make sure that your O-ring is good. We're going to set this into place. We're going to grab our cylinder head bolts. Go ahead and get both of those started. I always use an extension so I can keep my ratchet away from the tank. If it bottoms out, go ahead and stop. Now we're going to grab a 3/16 Allen and 3 of these smaller bolts, little blue Loctite on those. Those are going to be to the throttle body, so they're going to be through these 3 holes right here. One ugga-dugga. Once your torque wrench clicks, that's at 120 inch-pounds. We don't sit here and click, 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 click. One ugga-dugga, not 10. Once we have all those on, we're going to make sure to clean the surface area off here. We're going to get our backing plate up into place. We've got these 3 screws here. Blue Loctite on these, 120 inch-pounds again. So we're going to do a little blue Loctite. We're going to double check that our O-ring is correct. Go ahead and put that down in the hole. Go ahead and run these in until they touch. 120 inch-pounds on these as well. And we can take our filter. We want to make sure that we put the seam of the filter down You don't want to see that seam. And then you've got your cover plate and your plexiglass. So from here, we're going to take our velocity stack. We're going to set that up into place, and that's the magnetic part that we were talking about earlier. It's going to fall into place. We're going to take our air cleaner. We're going to set it up into place, and we're going to try and clock one of these notches right here to one of these. So we just want to look in here. We want to make sure that our Trask logo is straight, and this is clocked even with the back of one of these. We're going to take this piece. We're going to hook it on the back and put it right there in between that. Go ahead and get one of those bolts started there. We're going to take our next one, put it over the back. Now, if you have to mess around with this a lot before you get it on there trying to clock it, make sure to wipe off any fingerprints from the inside. There's nothing worse than getting one of these fully installed and looking in there and seeing a big fingerprint smack in the middle of the glass there. I just run these until they touch. You can torque them if you want to. Torque specs are in the instruction sheets. I generally do not torque these, so I just put them in, make sure they all touch, and then I'll just give them a little snug. Just like that. So that's it. Like I said, pretty easy install, just a few simple tools, and you can have this installed on your 23 CVO or your 24. So if you're just waiting for something a little better than those two things, and that will also provide you with a ton of air, which will increase your performance, check out the Trask Assault Air Cleaner. I'll put a link down in the description. It'll take you straight over to the Trask Assault Air Cleaner for the 23 and 24. If you have any questions on this, leave it in the comment section down below. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. That's what keeps us coming out here and making these videos. Check out the rest of the channel, over 150 bagger and soft air related videos. Make sure to tell your friends about us. I'm going to get out of here, get myself cleaned up. Hope to see you in the next video, but until then, as always, be safe. Keep your knees in the breeze. Hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out our videos today. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button, hit the little subscribe button popping up over here. If you want to check out more of our content, I've got 2 videos right here that'll get you started. Not really going to say anything else, just click one of those videos and take you to another video.